and welcome to the Health Daily News. I'm the news reporter Olivia, and alongside me are my colleagues Katie and Lydia. Today's story is about how global climate change affects human health. According to United Nations, climate change refers to long-term shift in temperatures and weather pattern.
In recent times, the polar ice has been melting at a very astonishing rate. According to NASA climate change, it is reported that Antarctica has been melting at 150 billion tons per year, while Greenland has been melting at a 280 billion tons per year, adding to the sea level rise. And this has definitely led to floods and storm surges. We could be living underwater within decades if no preventive measures are being taken.
Yes, the formation of floods and storms helps spread waterborne pathogens and diseases globally, such as cholera, hepatitis A, malaria, diarrhea, dengue fever, and many more. Domestic underground water that is contaminated by industrial pollutants. Thus, the water has become dangerous to drink and detrimental to health.
On this topic, an increase in global temperature will cause a drastic change in the climate pattern. Premature death amongst humans increases due to wildfires, hurricanes, and droughts. The quality of food and water supply affected, the humans become more vulnerable to disease, they have low immunity. So before we get to the next part, let's check the weather from every places in the world.
Global temperatures have been on a rise due to climate change, and there has been an increased risk of heat waves. To support the statement, Chuping, one of the small towns in Kangar, has reported its all-time high temperature with a reading of 40.1 degrees Celsius in 1998, and this has indicated that the climate has changed over the past decades.
The extreme temperature will directly endanger human health by causing problems such as dehydration, sunburn, and heart attacks. Respiratory infections are on the rise, such as asthma and lung cancer, because of the worsening air pollution. According to experts, both children and adults will get asthma. Even babies are more likely to have asthma during pregnancy.
Other than that, people nowadays are also suffering from heat stroke due to long terms of sun exposure. Heat stroke usually come with the symptoms of rapid breathing, increased body temperature, and a headache. Our major organs like brain, heart, kidneys, and muscle will be damaged quickly if no immediate treatment is provided. As a consequence, heat can cause death and hospitalization to occur rapidly. According to the Lancet, in the year 2021, 356,000 deaths have been caused by heat stroke since 2019.
Moving on, the biggest contributors to climate change to global warming is the emission of greenhouse gases. Among the examples of greenhouse gases are methane, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, hydrofluorocarbons, and the list does go on. As the greenhouse gases increase, our ozone layer of Earth thins. As a result, the sun points directly at us, emitting ultraviolet radiations, UV rays, which would cause us skin diseases and many harmful effects. The abnormal emission is mainly due to human activities such as deforestation, open burning of trees, and fossil fuels. And through research with deforestation and the emission of greenhouse gases, the temperature rise annually has been reported to be at a 0.08 temperature increase since 1880.
To add on, in industrials, oil, coal, and natural gas were widely used to supply energy to vehicles and generate electricity. The processes of oil drilling, coal mining, leaking gas pipelines, landfills, and waste dumps also emit methane gas.
How can we prevent this climate change from harming our health? Well, this question should be answered by the environmental scientists. Fortunately, we managed to invite one to join our session. Let us now welcome Dr. Rachel.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Recently, Dr. Rachel conducted a survey of our Taylor community about the effects of climate change and the methods to prevent it.
Yes, according to the overall results collected, Most participants think now is the time to take action towards climate change. They agree on the importance of national education philosophy, or NEP, to solve this major crisis. More than half of the participants really took action to reduce these negative impacts on health. Non-governmental organizations should cooperate with the government to conduct activities among the community to spread awareness on this vital issue.
Are there any way to stop the effects of climate change?
Well, when there's a problem, there is always a solution. Since climate change is caused by carbon dioxide and other gas emissions, we have to first reduce it. Therefore, we should adopt green renewable energy, like solar energy, wind energy, geothermal, to replace fossil fuels. For instance, we encourage people to use electric or hybrid vehicles instead of gasoline vehicles to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Industries and households are recommended to use certified energy efficient appliances to conserve energy. Some examples include compact fluorescent light bulbs, which might already be in your household.
Yeah, I have also heard about this exciting prospect from various automobile companies. Well, this would be a very crucial step in fighting against climate change. I believe when the adoption of electric vehicles are on the rise, on the momentum, we are in this together in fighting the climate change.
Yes, it is heartening to see more people choosing electric vehicles as a more sustainable mode of transportation. Besides, natural habitats like forests, oceans must also be protected to defend against climate change. Our government needs to implement stricter policies and enforce law to preserve these resources. Trees are capable of absorbing carbon dioxide emissions and provide a cooling effect to surroundings that can substantially reduce heat waves. These plants also heal people's minds, which benefits our mental health. Furthermore, mangrove trees and coral reefs can be planted to help prevent flooding from rising sea levels, as their roots are tightly embedded in the ground. Additionally, this is more of a general knowledge. I think everyone might know this. The three R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. These aspects are important practices that can be adopted by individuals and organizations alike. By reducing consumption, reusing products, and recycling materials, we can produce less waste. Thus, we can live a healthier life as a result of less pollution. For example, we can significantly reduce paper consumption by choosing 100% recycled or tree-free alternative, such as paper manufactured from hemp, cotton, bamboo, seed, and so many other alternatives.
After hearing so much about the effects of climate change, it's time to emphasize on education, especially for our younger generation. What are your thoughts on the values of education, Dr. Rachel?
Well, education is an essential factor in the ever more urgent global fight against climate change. According to the United Nations, the world population is expected to increase by 2 billion in the next 30 years. Since children are the future of our world, the national education philosophy policy should therefore be emphasized and put into practice. NEP means world-class education to develop well-rounded individuals in terms of spiritual, intellectual, physical, and emotional aspects. With knowledge regarding this phenomenon, youth will understand and adapt to tackle the consequences of global climate change for their physical and mental well-being. I'm here to encourage the community to engage more in the intervention voluntarily to prevent climate change.
Are there any other organization we can contact in order to participate? People may intend to help but don't know how.
That's a great question. Other than the UN, there are many other outstanding international organizations people may join, including the National Resources Defense Council, the NRDC, the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, and the Climate Action Network, CAN, among many other organizations.
Well said. Thanks for sharing your very insightful explanation and experiences, your honest thoughts, and I believe that many people can definitely understand and relate to it.
I'm glad to have been able to share this with everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
With that, we cover most of our findings and listen to a lot of valuable advice from the experienced environmental professor, Dr. Rachel. Thanks, Dr. Rachel, for joining our session. Without further ado, let's wrap up this session. Thank you.
Yes, it is. To conclude, climate change can affect human well-being in many different ways. We hope that this video will be able to raise public awareness about climate change, as our team strongly believes that education is one of the major keys to fight against it.
Through continuous efforts, we can have a genuine effect on climate change and make this world a better place to live in. To all our viewers, make sure to follow us on social media for updates. Thank you for tuning in today, and we are signing off. Thank you.